Goal kicking is not just about the physical, it's about the mental, the pressure, the noise, the fatigue, the last minute kick to win the game. We have felt it all.
For the win! It's on its way! It's good!
David Jackson, breathing coach who has helped the likes of George Ford, Santi Carreras and even England men's and women's international team. And he's going to teach me and you how to stay calm under pressure like the pros. So let's get into it. Feel nervous?
There's one muscle you've probably never trained in your body. Just use this time to think about bringing here and regulating the breathing.
Yes, Jacko, welcome to Chiswick. Thanks for coming all the way down here.
Brought the sun with me, thanks for having me.
Yeah, from Wales all the way.
Yeah.
So, goal kicking, why does breathing matter for them?
So breathing is really important for all rugby players, but specifically for goal kickers because of the effect it has on our nervous system. Breathing is going to affect what I call the 3 Ps. 3 key things a kicker needs to have under control. It's going to affect the first P, the physiology, so how breathing is impacting their physical body and how they're going to be able to recover and the fatigue levels. The second one, your psychology. How is breathing affecting the nervous system and the way that we're able to think, stay calm, and be able to focus when we're under, which is the third P, when we're under pressure. Breathing is able to help us stay calm under pressure because of the effect it has on the nervous system.
So how does a goal kicker fit this into their kicking routine?
Well, one of the really most important things about this is not interfering with the kicking routine itself, but it's how we prepare the system, the body, the nervous system, for the kick itself, so we can implement some of these breathing techniques into the pre-pre routine. So what are you doing when you get the ball before you actually go and start your routine itself?
So you've seen a lot of goal kickers in your time. What are the most common things that you see that you try to fix with their breathing?
Yeah, the most fundamental thing is that the speed of which we are breathing influences how stressed we feel. And when we feel really stressed, we breathe really fast. And when you feel really stressed and you're breathing really fast, it's very hard to focus, concentrate, and stay calm under pressure. So the most fundamental thing we're going to do for in a session like with you today is work on improving the efficiency and quality of your breath control so that you can calm your breathing, to calm your nervous system, so you stay calmer, more focused, performing better kicks.
Right then, let's talk us through the kicking routine. I've just scored a try, I'm running back, a bit fatigued to run the length of the pitch. What do I do next?
Well, first thing is you need the ball. So you're trying to firstly be aware of your breathing. This will be the biggest fundamental thing that anybody can do that most people are missing. As you're coming back from scoring the try or getting the ball, start to become aware of your breathing. Start to just notice how upper chest is it and how fast is it. And just the idea of you thinking about it, you're going to start to focus and slow it down. Once you've become aware of it, starting to slow it down, starting to take it out of the upper chest and starting to get it more into the abdominal region with your diaphragm. When I start to do those 2 things, breathing starts to slow down, breathing starts to calm, and eventually, if you're very good with a bit of practice, you get back to the calmest type of breathing, which is calmest for your nervous system, which is through your nose and relatively quiet. But that's going to depend on the context of whether you've scored a full-length screamer or whether one of the fat boys has just fell over from 1 metre out and you've just been cruising about for the last 10 minutes.
So what we're going to do to test my breathing and goal kicking, Jack is going to put me through something. What are you going to put me through?
Well, I'm just going to see where you're at to start. I'm not going to give you all my best secrets before we've even started. So you're just going to do a few little runs, get a little bit out of breath, and then we'll see where you're at on your own before we give you some bits of advice.
Let's give it a go.
Okay, so you're going to do 22 back, get your heart rate up, get your breathing a little bit challenged, grab a ball, and then we'll see what your kicking is like. Hey, mama.
Whew. Feel nervous. Oh, it's gone in the bush. Right, how would I do? To be honest, you make me nervous.
I can still hear that you're slightly out of breath even now. So interestingly, when someone's talking, and sometimes communicating, rugby's communication is really important, and often your goal kicker might well be one of your decision makers. And the more I'm out of breath, the less I can control my breathing. So even my communication is not as as good. So this is multifaceted. So the fact that you still was struggling to speak clearly then, a sign that your breathing rate is fast, and heart rate will go with that. If you keep your mouth wide open and keep letting the breath like just bounce into the upper chest, it's going to stay that way. So what we want to try and do is just change the auto in the preparation, just so that I'm a little bit more conscious of slowing my breathing rate down, not having the mouth as wide, and rather than it being in the upper chest, you're trying to activate from down here. Eventually trying to get yourself, if it's possible, depending on fitness levels, depending on the game, can I get myself back to a calmer nasal breath? When that happens, rather than breathing up your nose, which activates the upper chest, try to breathe backwards, because air's got to go back and down to your lungs. It doesn't need to go up anyway. So you're going to breathe backwards, which is going to make this be the thing we see moving rather than up here.
Okay, so I run, pick the ball up.
We're going to start bringing our awareness to your breathing. Yeah, you can put your hands up if you want to, just to give you a bit of guidance, but bring your attention to your breathing. You don't have to close your mouth straight away, but start to try to slow it down rather than being so wide and fast into here. If you slow it down, your diaphragm pulling from this distance, it's going to take longer for the breath to happen. The shorter the breath, the more it's going to stay in the upper chest. Okay. So we want to try to slow it down so that you can do that. The two need to happen together. Yeah, so you start to slow it down, you start to get more diaphragmatic. Breathing backwards rather than up that airway is going to help with those mechanics, and then get yourself to a little bit calmer, and you should noticeably feel a little bit calmer. And we can, you know, if we measure heart rate, we can see someone's heart rate come down when we start to control the breathing. Those two things are linked.
Perfect. So everything we've just picked up there and learnt from my little test there, is there a drill that I can do straight away that I can just practice getting on top of that breathing?
Yeah, we're going to do this now. Just literally stood up here, very, very simple. But there's one muscle you've probably never trained in your body, and it's potentially one of the most important muscles in your body, and that is your tongue. Because your tongue is the link between your airway and your diaphragm. So the tongue needs to be at the roof of the mouth, and then rather than breathing up the nose, which will activate here, you're going to try and breathe backwards with that tongue up. And if you put your hands on the outside of the ribs, real nice to have the thumb at the back. As you inhale, we should feel the hands getting pushed out, but also the rib cage expanding front to back. Relax the shoulders. As you breathe backwards, feel it expanding here, and when you exhale, it comes back in. And if you did the bad version, breathe fast, noisy up your neck. Yeah, then we see all this movement coming here. So that's like a global movement pattern. It's shorter, shallower, so it's going to be faster. And that key thing for the nervous system, being able to control the rate. When we control the rate, we bring heart rate down. We also change how the brain is functioning, particularly if you can get it back to nasal. So being a calmer, more focused in terms of our cognition.
The most important thing is what I do before I even set up the ball.
Yeah. If you wait till here, you've wasted maybe 30 seconds or so where you can get a real good handle on your breathing rate, start to change your physiology and your psychology straight away and your response to pressure. So use that time. It's really precious, that time. Get yourself into your routine really calm. If you need to do anything else in your routine, we'll talk about that later, but generally, get to your routine in a better place. The routine and kick takes care of itself.
Okay, so I would do this in the house, is it, for a couple of reps just to get used to it?
Yeah, this is all about building awareness. Awareness of the tongue position being up in the roof of the mouth and the diaphragm being activated because you're breathing backwards rather than breathing up.
There we go, so give this a go in your house. Let me know in the comments below if you can actually nail this, or are you still chesty like myself?
Okay, the tongue is a little bit of a weird muscle, but I promise you it is a muscle just because it's attached at one end. And it is so important for your airway and your diaphragm. The tongue being up in the roof of the mouth is about being able to get it suctioned up there. And we struggled with that first of all. But one little simple thing, if you can't suction it to the roof of the mouth, you make this noise. A few clicks with your tongue before it pings off, you've suctioned it. So we literally just then, in the case of what, 10, 20 seconds went from can't do it to bang, the tongue's in the right place. When the tongue's suctioned in between all the teeth at the top of the palate, it's in the right place. When the tongue's in the right place, you can start to access your diaphragm easier. Okay, so let's put this now into practice. You've got some tools to calm your breathing, but we need to first make you feel out of breath. So you're going to go 22 back again. But this time, use that time from the 22 to here, use that precious time to regulate yourself. So let's use this time to think about bringing here and regulating the breathing. You can use your mouth as much as you need to, but slow it down rather than being fast. You can get yourself back to a calmer, deeper nasal breath. Your physiology, your psychology, you're in a calmer place.
Cool. Yeah, that felt much better coming back from there. Feel a lot more controlled. It will take a long time to get me used to that breathing, because I did feel a little bit of...
Yeah, you change the auto over time, and there's a case of like, there's things you can do in your training to make you better able to control your breathing. But ultimately, we know that if you're calm with your breathing, your physiology, your psychology will be calmer. The job of striking the ball well is going to be easier.
So there we have it. If you want to learn more about your goal kicking, or you want help with breathing for absolutely anything, some of the pro players, I've seen massive benefits from this. Jacko, where can they go?
My website is probreathwork.com. On Google and on Apple, there's the Pro Breathwork app. And my Instagram is jacko.david.jackson.
There we go. Make sure you check them out. If you want the links, they're in the description below. Give this a go. Let me know how it goes. And in games, do you pull off some of those pressure kicks? And please subscribe to my YouTube for more. Thanks, everyone.